All right. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to the 210 show. We're going to cover some topics. We're going to cover the MLB. We're going to cover NFL. We're also going to cover some fantasy football studs and duds. And we're also going to cover some college football. But before we get into it, let's go ahead and do introductions. I am your co host, Mr. Raider.
I am Angry Joey.
I am the hater with facts.
Your boy Tony in the house.
And Woo Pig Sue here.
All right. So we're going to start some things off with college football. So, Woo Pig, go on, lead us, my friend.
All right, so let's start out with the good games that happened in the top 25. I'll lead us out with the first game we're going to talk about was Oregon versus Penn State. Oregon won the game 30-24 in double overtime. This was a big game where Oregon managed to dominate in yardage. They executed down the stretch, and Penn State's offense never got sustained enough and didn't have enough momentum, and their composure under pressure kind of fell short in the end. So Oregon was able to pull out a big win in the Big Ten, and they're still undefeated at this point. So I assume Oregon will move up and Penn State will drop in the rankings that'll come out later. The next game was LSU versus Ole Miss. There's a lot of us here who are big-time haters of LSU, so we were happy that Ole Miss was able to beat LSU.
Yeah,
Um,
but for unified
called that
reasons,
shit.
I might add, just want to throw that out there.
It's
I
specifically
What's
told you
that?
Brian
last
Kelly.
week LSU wasn't that good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brian Kelly is the absolute worst.
Yeah, that's who we hate more than the
Yeah.
LSU. It's Brian
Right.
Kelly.
Well, Ole Miss is looking good. They had 314 passing yards, 71 rushing yards.
Damn.
They controlled the tempo and the yardage, and LSU struggles on the ground, inability to get consistent offense. It cost them. So I assume LSU, they were ranked number 4. They're going to drop heavily, and Ole Miss, who's ranked number 13, should be in the top 10 this week.
Yeah.
So
Who's LSU playing next, and who's Ole Miss playing next?
that I'm not sure. Let me
Hold on.
look. LSU is going to be playing South
Washington.
Carolina.
Oh, that's actually gonna be a tough game for them.
Ole
They
Miss
sleep on
plays
that.
Washington State.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
that's a win.
yeah, they should be able to
They
beat
got
that.
Georgia and Oklahoma back to back after this week, so we'll find out a lot.
Yeah, exactly. But Georgia hasn't been living up to snuff lately either, though, have they?
Yeah, but I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I would still think Georgia is gonna be, I don't care what the ranking is. Alabama always seems to beat Georgia and ruin their season, but would you really be surprised if Georgia destroys Ole Miss? I wouldn't.
Yeah, maybe not this year, but I don't know.
Yeah, we always say that. There's always a good SEC team that's not one of them, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay.
All right, good
Yeah,
point.
Because I don't
That's
think
good.
LSU's that good, though. So that's just me. But Ole Miss did look good.
I agree. But
Yeah.
at the same time, they actually did beat some pretty good teams. They beat Notre Dame.
Yeah, I mean, they're a good team. There's no denying that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be
Ole
surprised
Miss-
if Georgia handles.
Yeah, Ole Miss has that Georgia that stretch with Georgia and Oklahoma. After
Yeah.
that, their schedule gets much more easy. So LSU, on the other hand, they've got Vandy, Texas A&M, Alabama, all 3 in a row.
Yeah, they're done, dude.
Yeah,
Oh
they're-
snap! And say what you will, as much as I hate to say it, because A&M, that's my wife's team, and she keeps rubbing it in my face every time, the Notre Dame and A&M game gets brought up. But A&M, they've been playing some.
yeah.
I mean, they really have. I think that they're a pretty good team.
They better. They
I
have only
agree.
the top 5 or 10 freaking budget for the Big 12.
Well, I think what do they rank? Like what, 6, 7, something like that?
They're 6 now, and so
6, yeah. 6,
yeah,
right?
Woo Pig. Oregon moved up to number 2.
okay.
Ole Miss
That's
moved all the way up.
bullshit.
Oregon moved all the way, or Ole Miss moved all the way up to 4. I don't think it's bullshit. Oregon is
Yeah.
the second best team in the country.
No.
Penn State was number 3 when they beat them.
Yeah. And Penn
on
State
the road.
appropriately only moved down to 7. I think that's appropriate. I think Penn State's a top 10 team. They did take Oregon to double overtime. We learned something about Penn State. They are actually good, in my opinion.
Well,
Yes,
did
that
you see
is-
what
that is
that
a-
coach did? What Lanning did? He did the throat slash.
Oh no.
Wow, yeah, man.
That is a big jump for Ole Miss, though, to move from 13 to 4.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
It
huge.
is. It is.
Yeah.
Well, that's that SEC hot sauce on that.
Here we go. Here we
Well,
go.
All right, well-
Oklahoma's fifth, and they don't even have a quarterback. So but they may lose this week. You know, Texas A&M is another SEC team. So
He's
Well,
talking about
let's keep moving
SEC
down through the
vibes.
list.
Okay, anyways. All right, so next, Alabama versus Georgia. Alabama was able to squeak out a win against Georgia.
Yeah.
So, Alabama was sitting there teetering like, are they gonna have a new coach at the end of the year? This kinda probably helped save his job. So,
For one more year.
for at least
No.
one more year.
they move up to 10th.
Don't lose to
Now
Auburn.
if they lose to Auburn, he's right back in the hot seat, so who knows?
Or Vanderbilt.
Well, check this out. They got Vanderbilt, Missouri, Tennessee, South Carolina, which is not a bad team, though, not ranked. LSU, Oklahoma. Their schedule is insane.
Yeah, that's pretty tough.
Yeah.
They're going to lose at
Yeah,
least 2 of those games.
They're
Yeah,
gonna lose one of them,
I'm
for sure.
actually really I think their next game is versus Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt. Yeah.
And then don't sleep on Missouri either.
I know, dude.
And in Tennessee, yeah, you're right. That is a brutal schedule. I'm really, really happy to see what happens with Vanderbilt because they've
They're
been on a
4-0,
tear.
right?
They are. Yeah, they're undefeated and they beat
Yes.
some big boys. So
Coming off a game like that, I always call it a letdown game. You were so hyped for Georgia, right? And then you're
Mhm.
so high, and then you just are kind of deflated the next week. And they're playing a really good Vanderbilt team. So
Yeah.
But they
Don't-
should be
don't-
they
it
should be
is a-
focused because they
it
lost
is a
to them
revenge
last year.
game. Yeah, last
Well,
year they lost to Vandy.
So
Yeah.
I get it. Still, it's
But-
hard.
but
But you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
The adrenaline,
The emotions,
off the
yeah.
Georgia game. Yeah. So
That's a
we'll
good
see.
game.
We'll see. It'll be some interesting games coming up. So
Well, I have a question for you, though, Woo Pig. So do you think Kirby Smart, do you think he's going to be safe? I mean, as far as his job for a while? Like, what if during that stretch he loses, like, the next 2 games? Do you think they're going to start chattering?
Kirby Smart, you mean Georgia's coach?
Yeah, Georgia's.
No.
Kirby Smart's one of
Oh,
the
no.
safest coaches in
You see what
in
they're doing to
college football.
Dabo?
Yeah, but
No.
That's
dude,
different, man.
Georgia lost to Alabama. Come on, man.
Yeah, that's
Like,
different. Come on now.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Geor-
I'm just
Clemson-
wondering.
no,
Clemson-
Kirby Smart is perfectly
Yeah.
safe. Yeah.
Clemson was struggling with Troy, dog. Like, come on. Come on. Like, what are we talking about?
Look, I'm not
Look,
advocating. I'm just wondering.
Don't
do
be
you think there would be some
disrespectful
chatter?
now.
No,
Hey, look, I say what I say about the SEC, but come on, let's not be disrespectful here.
Georgia's not Bama. They're not Texas. Their fan base went through hell for like a decade, so I think their expectations are a little bit more reasonable. So,
Agreed.
Georgia is going to be just fine. I think he's safe.
Yeah,
They would have to go on a big slump for multiple years for him to be in jeopardy, I think.
Yeah.
All right, the next one, and this is a big one: USC versus Illinois.
Oh God.
Illinois beat USC 34-32.
I see what you're doing, Blue Pig. You messing with my emotions, but I'm gonna be quiet.
Hey,
be quiet.
all I'm doing is going to the top 25 wins and losses. That's all. So
No, I totally agree with the outcome.
Of course you would.
I just
See,
thought it was a beautiful game. Yeah, I mean, what can you say?
So USC struggled with turnovers, goal line miscues.
Drop passes.
Illinois' quarterback passed for 328 yards, 2 touchdowns. But honestly, it was a very competitive game, and the way it ended, I think Illinois had like, what was it, like 45 seconds or something left, and then when they kicked the field goal,
Yep.
it was a it was a close game. It was a good game. I enjoyed watching it. Yeah, I know it didn't end the way you wanted it to, but I'm curious, Tony, where's USC ranked right now? Did they drop out
USC
25?
is not ranked. Nope.
They test some shit.
They've received votes though. They're like on the cusp there. So
They're on the cusp.
yeah. Illinois is ranked 22nd, which only moved up 1 spot. After being a good USC team. It was weird, but
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. It was a good game. At least they competed. But as a USC fan, hoping that Illinois stays and finishes in the top 10 at least. To give us a chance if he can run the table from here on out.
Yeah, and you guys have some big games coming up. I mean, you're just now getting in your big
your
season,
defense
so.
is just so bad.
In fact,
It is.
the next game versus Michigan.
Nope,
Yeah.
not this week.
Ooh.
Not this
Well,
week.
yeah, but that's their next game.
The next big game. Oh, yes. You're
No,
right.
because we have a
USC's
bye.
USC's next big because they're on a bye. Yes, you're correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, so let's do a beer bet on that game.
You don't want this smoke, dog.
Oh,
You don't want that smoke, dog.
I'm just betting a beer, man. I mean, we ain't
We
talking about
haven't- we
money
have-
here. Shit.
we have another pod before then. Let's make sure that that our respectable quarterbacks are healthy for that game. If it is, yeah, I got you.
hey, I'm just saying.
Well, he needs
I'm just
time to
saying,
think about it. The honest needs to
it's-
know he needs time to think about it.
Yeah, it does sound like you're a little nervous about it. I'm gonna be
No,
honest.
I'm just making sure. No, before I step in it, I want to make sure that the battlefield is even. That's all.
You want your balls to drop for you, man. Okay, I got it. Yeah.
You stop right there. No, since you want to try to parlay some stuff, why don't we talk about that game Arkansas had last weekend, sir?
We gonna
Talk
talk about
about
it. We're gonna talk about it. I owe Joey a lunch. I got it. No
Yeah.
big deal.
Yeah, don't you're trying to run it high now, trying to distract.
I'm gonna buy him some
Why
Subway
wait? Let's
or some
talk about it.
McDonald's. But hey, speaking of which, right after Michigan, USC plays Notre Dame. So we could have prop bets 2 weeks in a row with
I'm going to be a full man. I'm just saying.
USC.
Weeks in a row.
USC's not gonna have a chance, man.
Goodness.
If our
So the
defense keeps
audience
playing like it's
knows-
doing, we're done.
So the audience knows I'm a Rutgers fan, so I ain't never been with any of these motherfuckers.
They'll
All
get there
right,
one day, Tony.
Let's
Yeah.
keep moving,
Yeah.
y'all. Let's
All
keep
right.
moving.
Yeah, no problem. All right. So, speaking of which, that brings me to my beloved Hogs. We lost to Notre Dame 56-13. And
Close one.
yeah, real close one. Yeah.
As Bob
So-
Bucher would say, just a bit outside.
So all right, let's talk about the biggest meltdown in the SEC right now. Arkansas is fielding a top 10 offense and a bottom 10 defense at the exact same time.
Wow.
And it just cost Sam Pittman his job. So
Damn.
on Saturday, head coach Sam Pittman was fired by AD Hunter Yurvik.
Okay,
after a loss
so
to Notre
for the
Dame.
record, and I know I was memed off of this one. I got all kinds of hell saying that Notre Dame is career ender type thing. I'm with you, Kyle. I think it was preemptive. I don't think that it was. I think it was. I think it was too early. I think that they should have at least let him, play out the season. That's
that was my earlier take, but honestly, what I believe, and I've got the stats here to back it up. This is a prove it year for Bobby Petrino. He is the interim coach, but this is his year to prove that Bobby P can ride again in Arkansas. So
I didn't know he was there. Damn.
Bobby Petrino was our offensive coordinator. So Pittman leaves after 6 seasons. He finished 32-34 overall. Interim head coach Bobby Petrino is back for round 2 at Arkansas. He previously led Arkansas from 2008 to 2011, and now he's stepping up from offensive coordinator. So he didn't waste a second. One day after he was named interim head coach, Bobby P fired the defensive coordinator, the assistant defensive coordinator, and the defensive line coach.
Damn.
Yeah, so he has already fired all of the defense.
Yeah, my goodness.
Yep.
Do
He
you
fired
honestly
him
think
immediately.
that's going to fix their?
Well, if you
Fix the
look
problem?
at it, our defense is ranked dead last in the SEC. We're ranked 118 out of 134.
Oh, hey,
We're giving over
Pig.
30 points per game. Our
You know
offense is ranked 10th nationally. We're 8th in third down conversions, 19th in passing, 25th in rushing, and as I said, 10th nationally. So we have a top 10
Wow.
offense and
Yeah.
a bottom 10 defense. So they put Bobby P in charge, and he immediately fired those jokers. Good
You know
on
what?
him.
You know what all that sounds like to me, though, Woo Pig. I mean, in all seriousness, it sounds like doormat.
I knew you was gonna go there, dog. Come on, man. Why you
Yeah,
kicking the man while he down, dog?
That's fine. That's fine.
I couldn't
Hey.
help it.
Hey,
Oh my God, it's bad. It's bad enough what Notre Dame did to him. Damn.
I know. Look, I can't talk, man, because USC is about to get ripped these next 4 or 5 weeks. So I'm just getting my
Well,
shots in now. Well, I can.
I'm just saying that if Bobby Petrino can get us at least a middle of the pack defense, we become dangerous. And I don't think we're going to win a ton of games, but if he can get us to say 500 by the end of the year and keep us from bleeding 30 points a game, he might become the head coach real quick
He's a
because
good coach, man. I think he can. He's a good coach.
he is. So he under his 4 years as a head coach, he started out 5-7, then he went 8-5, then he went 10-3, and his last year he was 11-2. He had
but
he had a
we all know what the
34-17 record. He had 3 bowl appearances, including a Sugar Bowl against OSU and 2 straight top 12 finishes in the rankings his last
So
2
he has
years.
the creds. He has the creds.
Yeah. He was great. The only problem is he couldn't keep from diddling other coaches' wives. That's why he got fired.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
that's what I was gonna
So
say. How
Hide your wives. Hide your.
yeah.
hide your wives.
Will he be well behaved here? Like that's the question.
Well,
Has he learned
he's
his lesson?
he's a decade older, so maybe testosterone levels have lowered enough now that he, maybe he goes fishing for fish instead of, wives.
Other things.
Yeah, that's the hope. He's obviously still good. Like right now we have a top 10 national offense, so he's still good on the offensive front. So maybe the magic's back. So we'll see what happens. This is his audition, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, Joey, thank you for getting our coach fired by embarrassing us.
Of course. I mean
You
that's
dickhead.
yeah, that's what we do.
And coming from a Razorback fan, I really like Sam Pittman. I did, but he wasn't getting it done. So I think
Yeah.
I think Bobby
He's
Petrino's kind of an asshole, but man, he's an asshole that can coach. So let's see what happens.
Well, good luck to y'all in the future, man.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Yes,
And that
seriously.
that's pretty much for me. I'll turn it over to back to you, Jules. So that I think you had some games you want to talk about.
Yeah. So I got some feedback from our last podcast about, hey, where's the Texas teams kind of shout out to the underdogs? So when it comes to college football, so everybody talks about Texas A&M and UT, and we're kind of forgetting what I like to call the underdogs. So Texas football fans, we like, as far as everybody I talk to, they all just want their teams to win, and so I want to break down basically these underdogs and who I have as the underdogs. You might ask, okay, I got Baylor, I got Texas Tech, or not Texas. Well, you could put them in there: Baylor, TCU, Texas Tech, Houston, and UTSA. These are my underdog teams who are grinding in the shadows. Not quite,
The
good.
Texas teams.
Yeah. So not quite like, making the rankings, but they're climbing, they're trying to get where they need to be. So I think that if Baylor, if Texas Tech, if Houston, they can get their programs together. So like some interesting stats, right? Let's just start with for the Big 12 stats for Texas Tech. They're averaging 52 points per game. They're having 573 yards a game, and their defense is only giving up 11 points per game. So they're strong on both sides of the ball as far as offense and defense. And then you have Baylor at 36 points per game. Like, this is mind blowing. Over 5 games, they have a total of 2,521 yards for an average of 504 yards a game. Crazy, crazy stat. Their red zone efficiency is pretty high, it's 87%. So, they're scoring down there. And then let's talk about Houston. Houston's at 31 points per game, and their defense is allowing 13 points per game. So they're kind of the middle of the pack, but they're respectable. They're respectable. So a couple of honorable mentions would be Baylor's quarterback. I think his name is Sawyer Robertson. He's passed for almost 2,000 yards, and again, we're going into week 5. So if I'm not mistaken, I think Baylor's 2-2, right? Woo Pig, 2-2. I'm pretty sure they are.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
They're 3-2.
Oh, they're
Yeah.
3-2?
Yeah.
3-2. Okay. And then as far as Texas Tech, I think their last game, what was it? It was 34-10 win over Utah. Nothing to shout out about, but at least they won. they're Texas Tech is being pretty dominant early in the 2025, which I can respect. So I think they even played your Arkansas Prime Bluff back in August
Oh,
and
okay.
whooped that ass 67-7.
No doubt. Texas can field multiple really good teams. Arkansas cannot. So just
Yeah.
throwing that out
Yeah.
there.
They have
Well,
a
the big
notable win over Kent State. Sorry, go ahead, Gator.
I was going to say Texas Tech they have a big game this weekend because they're undefeated and they take on Houston, who's undefeated too.
Yep. I was just about to cover Houston next. So yeah, that's gonna be a good game coming up. So so for Houston, right? Houston Cougars. They had a 27-24 overtime win versus Oregon State in a comeback overtime win, which is pretty good. Remember they beat Colorado, when Colorado's coming in with all that hype, 36-20. So they're 4-0. And they're not getting any media attention whatsoever outside of the Colorado game. But so yeah, so the next big game they have is the Red Raiders.
Yeah, they'll get some if they win this week.
Mhm. And then to finish things off, the Baylor Bears, they lost to Auburn 24-38 in the season opener. They had a double overtime game versus SMU, which they won. And then they just recently lost to Arizona State in a close game, 24-27. But, if you watch these games, and I looked at some of the stats and saw some highlights, that, Baylor does have an explosive offense at times that can get them back in the game. And to round this out with TCU, their most recent 27-24 loss was pretty bad, but they're starting to put it together. So I think as far as underground, grinding in the dark, I think these teams are doing what they have to do. And I remember, I think if Wupig, if I remember you correctly, Houston transitioned to the Big 12 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I mean, come on, not bad, right? To start 4-0 and just now start going into your schedule.
No, Houston's
But
one of those teams. Houston's one of those teams I always wondered why it wasn't a bigger program than what it was. I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that it bounced around in Conference USA and the American Athletic, and it's just now gotten its opportunity to join one of the Power Four schools, right? One of the Power Four conferences.
Yeah.
So now that they're in that, they have stability.
and a
I
pipeline.
mean, yeah, dude, the pipeline in Texas is insane, especially around
Yep.
Houston. They don't even have to leave their own freaking city to get huge
Yeah.
amounts of talent. So they've got tons of NIL dollars. They've got big donors. So yeah, Houston's always been considered, one of the smaller, universities in as far as football goes in Texas, but that might not be that might not be true forever, because now that they're in the Power Four, I could see them jumping up real quick.
Can't
Yeah, I
believe
agree
you
with
didn't
that.
mention UTSA. Goodness
I
gracious.
was about to. I was like, I forgot to mention them, but I will now. So UCSA, UTSA, their 2025 stats. So they're averaging 31 points per game, but they allow about 30 points per game. Their rushing attempts are pretty high. It's pretty good. So like their yards per game, passing yards per game is 200. Their rushing yards per game is 206. So they're averaging about 406 yards total offense per game. But their third down percentage is 37%. And their turnover plus and minus margin is +3, tied for 25th in the nation. So, they're 1-2, but across these games they've competed. They haven't been looking like scrubs except for a couple that got out of hand for them. I think it was the not Incarnate Word, the Texas State loss.
Yeah, I was going to say they beat the bricks off Incarnate Word.
Yeah, Texas State loss and Texas A&M pretty much. Well, Texas A&M pretty much whooped that ass, but
Yeah.
it was like 24-42. I think was the loss on that one.
Didn't UTSA have a couple guys go to the NFL in the draft?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Davenport was one of
Marcus
them.
Davenport.
Davenport, yeah.
Yeah, he's currently a Detroit
of
Lion
them.
right now, but he's hurt
One of the
again.
corners too. Yeah, they have had a couple over the last couple of years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That matters when it comes to recruiting. Like when you can show
Yeah.
that you're putting people in the NFL.
Right.
Dude, Davenport
mean,
was a first round pick, wasn't
Davenport was. Yeah,
he? Yeah.
Yep. Okay. All right. Well, speaking of first round picks, let's go ahead and transition to the NFL to do our weekly recap and preview. Go ahead, Hater.
All right. So first game of the week, the Eagles, number one Eagles, they beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on the road 31-25 in a game that was, again, much like the previous week versus the Rams, hot and cold, to say the least. Jalen Hurts, I think he had a QBR of like, it was somewhere around the 90s in the first half, but absolute dog shit in the second half, which was an inverse of the Rams game. But the question I have for the group is, what's a bigger concern for the 4-0 Eagles? Saquon's rushing average, which is at 3.1, which is number 40 in the backs, or Jalen Hurts' passing average, which is 6.0, which is 24th in the league among quarterbacks.
Damn, man.
I would say
they're
Saquon's bigger concern.
Yeah.
But I think if the passing game could open up Saquon, you know what I mean? It's like they're just not getting the ball down the field, and so it shrinks. You know, everybody's up close to the line, and that's what happens.
I mean, you could say the running game should open up the passing game too. I mean, they kind of go hand
Yeah, but
in
when they have 8 in
foot.
the box and you can't run, why not keep them honest? Like, they're not throwing the ball at all, and definitely not
Well,
downfield.
They did try to get A.J. Brown the ball.
Yeah, one game when they were
But-
behind, and they wound up winning the game because of A.J. Brown.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on over there, man. Like you got Devontae, you got Goddard, you got AJ. There's no reason why Jalen Hurts should be, what would you say, 6?
Jalen Hurts is 24th among quarterbacks in passing average.
Yeah, but at what? I thought
It's
you
6
had
yards per attempt.
Yeah, 6 yards
6
per
yards
attempt.
per attempt. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's atrocious for that talent that's on that football team. Something's
Yeah.
going on, man, that's deeper that, we don't know about. It might even be the fucking coaching.
Well, you can't tell Eagles fans that because Sirianni is God. So there's that.
Yeah, we'll see in December.
Yeah. But I mean, you got your cryptic tweets going on out there and all these other type of distractions. It reminds me a lot of 2 years ago, like when something was going on amongst the team, and they try to keep it on the wraps. And at that point, they were thinking like maybe Sirianni's job could be in danger and stuff like that. But I don't know what can be done here, because it's like, well, why should we change anything? Because we're 4-0, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, we know what right looks like, and that's not it.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
But yeah, we'll talk about them later in our games of the week for week 5. But we're gonna move on here. The number 4 Baltimore Ravens, they went to number 7 Kansas City Chiefs, and they basically got dog walked 37-20.
I
So
told y'all.
What? Oh no, sir, you had the Ravens winning the game last week, sir. You. As a matter of fact, I was the only person that picked the Chiefs. They were underdog, and you
I
guys
picked
didn't
the
believe it.
Chiefs. I picked the Chiefs.
You did? I don't remember.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
fine. You can
Yeah,
join
I
the
picked
you
the
can join the
Chiefs
victory
too.
lap with me. Okay, I'll check the tape. But anyway, the question here is, can the Ravens recover from fumbleitis?
Yeah, of course they can. Just stop giving it to
That's the-
Derrick
yeah.
Henry.
That's the least. Yeah,
Well,
that's
that's
the least
exactly
of their
what they're
worries.
doing.
That's the least of their worries. Listen to this injury list. In this game, Lamar Jackson got hurt. Their left tackle, Ronnie Stanley, one of the best in the NFL, got hurt. Roquan Smith, their all-pro linebacker, got hurt. Marlon Humphrey, their number 1 corner, got hurt. Nate Wiggins, their number 3 corner, got hurt. Like
Damn.
that, like you can't. That's really hard to cover from that, especially against a good team. Like that's like Niners level injuries right there.
Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
bad. I did say in the last pod though that I think that, or the pod for last, that the Ravens were kind of fool's gold. Like, don't get caught up in the hype if you're a Ravens fan. Remember me saying that?
I vaguely remember that. But
Yeah.
I do need to put you on the stand, sir. But before I do that, I don't know if Angry Joy, do you have any thoughts on this or not? Before I put Mr. Man on the spotlight here.
Okay, so from personal perspective, I was really pulling for the Ravens, but I'm not terribly surprised. Now, I do realize that a couple of pods ago, I actually intentionally put Mahomes on trial, by saying that he might have been fool's gold. Okay, so just so everybody knows, that was never true. I mean, the guy's elite, and he showed it this last weekend.
Mea culpa.
I will say though that I am surprised that the Chiefs actually laid the wood on the Ravens the way they did. I mean, the game was never really close.
No.
It just wasn't. And more surprising is Lamar Jackson. It just seems like he's kind of losing his cool just a little bit. The Ravens, they have not been in this position in a long time. I mean, and to get just beat up like they did, I mean, that was very, very surprising. So, the Chiefs, yeah, they could be back.
He
I
did look
hate to
real
say it.
frustrated on the sidelines.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
every time the camera would pan to him, he looked pissed. I mean,
yeah.
Lamar. I mean,
Well, so and we were talking about it a little bit today, there, Hater. So what was with the bandage on Lamar's leg? Do you think that was real, or do you think that he was just? Do you think he's
Well,
quitting on his team, or
no,
I
no, it,
I don't know.
no, it definitely was not because the news report came out today that
He's not
that he is
playing.
questionable. Yeah, they say he's going to try to give it a go in their next game here, but more than likely he's going to miss the next 2 weeks.
Mm.
From what was it? A
Hamstring.
Hammy?
Hamstring. Yeah.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't read that news. I just kind of saw the headline, so I didn't know.
Okay. Let's keep
So
moving.
I just think that gosh, I cringe to say this, but the Chiefs, they look very dominant in that game.
Well, it's
Yeah,
kind
but
of
there
like
were a
what,
lot of
yeah,
defensive miscues, man.
right.
Like it was so obvious. Like the lack of communication on the defense right now for the Ravens is kind of disturbing, to be honest with you. I mean,
Isn't
They're
that just
basically all backups.
that's just so inconsistent with their whole mentality. I mean,
yeah.
you hear Baltimore and you think defense,
Mhm.
especially when in the division that they're in.
Yep.
I don't get it. I just don't get it.
We'll see what type of changes that they make, but just a slight pivot here, and this is directly towards Mr. Raider because for the past few pods, we have had numerous discussions when it comes down to Josh Allen versus Lamar Jackson, and you have been a very key advocate for Lamar Jackson to as number one quarterback. Now,
Mhm.
what I would say that in the next I will say the next month or so, right? Not counting an injury, of course, but knowing that the type of desperation that this team is in, this is his moment to show that he is deserving of being in the high regard that he has been put on, and to show that he can carry a team, much like how Josh Allen has done the last 2 years. Wouldn't you agree?
I mean, I think he's doing that now. He can't help it that Derrick Henry fumbled the ball in the playoffs, or just recently he has a case of the fumbleitis, or his wide receivers can't catch. You know what I mean? Like that's why he's holding on to the ball too long to give them a chance because they can't get open. And so, I
Dude,
I
Zay
think he
Flowers
is.
open all the time.
Wait a minute now. Hold on. Now we're not going to
Zay
talk about
Flowers is 10 times better than any receiver Buffalo had.
indeed.
Yeah, I'd agree
And
with you.
Zay Flowers, even at his age right now, DeAndre Hopkins is not a slouch. They re-signed Rashad Bateman. You
Yeah, he's
can't
good.
deny that Mark Andrews is still a top 5 tight end in the league, even though Isaiah Likely is not in, but he's still very capable as a tight end. And we're not going to disrespect King Henry on this pod now. Fumbles or not, we're not going to
Yeah.
disrespect him. So
He's awesome.
How's it
yeah,
disrespectful calling out what he did? You know what I mean? I'm not saying he's a shitty player. I'm saying he has a case of the fumbleitis, which is true.
yeah, but
Lost his team a couple games.
right, but that does not justify Lamar holding on to the ball way too long. He refuses to throw the ball away, which we pointed out a couple pods ago as well. And his execution of the offense has not been as top notch as we thought, especially against tougher teams. It's been obvious this year, and he won't fix it. Now that should be on him. Now he's getting the money. He has the team around him, at least on offense, he does. Now, and that's the other thing too. If you know that your defense is struggling the way it is, the one thing you don't want to do is put the offense in situations where they have to punt the ball away and put the defense back on the field. He should know better than that.
Okay. So you all right. Let me answer your question in this way.
Real quick? I
Sure.
will say that he had 0 sacks in that Chiefs game.
But he did
So
have a fumble though.
yeah, but he didn't get sacked. Like, my point last week was that he was holding on to the damn ball too long, and he was getting sacked because he refused to throw the ball away. So, at least in this game, he didn't get any sacks. So, good on him, at least for one game.
Yeah. So here's what I would say to that. I would say for the 2025 season, I would say Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are pretty much neck and neck in terms of like, what they're doing for the team, stat wise and leadership wise. Like for example, so passing yards, right? Lamar Jackson has 722, Josh Allen has 755. Passing touchdowns, Lamar Jackson is first with 9. Josh Allen has 5. He's tied for 7th. Interceptions, Lamar Jackson has 0. He's tied for first. Josh Allen also has 0. He's tied for first. Their QBR, Lamar Jackson is third at 78.2. Josh Allen is 74.9.
Okay, that interception stat must be caught up yet because he threw a pick in that Chiefs game.
I'm sorry. It's 1-1. My bad. I see it in
Yeah.
there, some parentheses next to it. My fault. And
No, you're
then but their completion percentages are pretty much even. As far as their rush yards, it's pretty much even. So the longest pass, one had a 41-yarder, and Josh Allen had 51. So statistically, they're pretty much neck and neck. Now, as far as the intangibles you're talking about, putting a team on your back and leading them forward, I would agree with you. I would say yeah, he needs to put up or shut up. But I would also say or suggest that, Lamar actually has been carrying that team for a long time, just like Josh Allen has been.
Okay, I give it to you. I give it to you, but I would say that for as much as he has disappointed, like particularly in the playoffs, and this is the first time we've seen him struggle like this in the regular season, which could be it could be a blip or a trend. We don't know. We will see, but I'm just saying for a lot of the hoopla that he has been getting, it definitely needs to show itself.
One interesting, crazy, cool stat before you move on to the next one is that you talk about Lamar Jackson throwing the ball. Did you know that he has thrown 32 touchdown passes over 10 yards or more since 2024, and that leads the league in that metric?
I find it funny that
Good for him.
his recent struggles has come after he became the number one passer rating leader in of all time. Once that happened, then all this kind of happened too. So it's kind of confluence of incidents. But yeah, I hear you. But Lamar Jackson, we believe in you, brother. But
Yep.
you got to step it up. So get better, step it up. All right, next game. I'll be real quick. Number 14 Colts went to the number 9 Rams and they took an L for the first time this season, 27-20. Daniel Jones had 2 interceptions and the Rams and Puka Nacua put in that work. Question is, will Daniel Jones become a pumpkin by Halloween?
That's what everybody's thinking and wondering, right?
I say
A
no.
leopard doesn't change his stripes, man. So
I like the talent around him.
Yeah.
I think the coaching staff has done a good job so far. I think he's going to keep the job, and I think he's going to be solid. We can't expect the first 3 weeks of the season, Daniel Jones.
I think the pressure's getting him rattled, and the turnovers are already starting to creep up. So I think he's halfway to pumpkin status already. So that's just me.
I don't
would
know.
agree.
I'm gonna actually say no. I think that he actually has a really good supporting cast. He has one of the best offensive lines in the game. He has just an amazing supporting cast. If if he's gonna succeed in anything, it's gonna be now. But who knows? But I'm gonna take the over, or excuse me, the under on Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the under too. That Denver's defense is legit, as much as I hate to say it. So yeah, I think he's gonna be fine, at least for this year.
All right. So I think the one of the more anticipated games of the week was the number 3 Packers going to the number 20 Cowboys on a Sunday night, and they ended in a 40-40 tie.
All right, now here's the conversation.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that we can all collectively give the Cowboys an apology. I mean,
Fuck no.
no,
Excuse me?
no, I'm just saying every single one of us, and don't deny it, Jay, that you actually thought that this was going to be a blowout, myself included.
Oh,
Everybody
oh,
was
that's
okay.
where you're
saying,
going.
All right.
what
Okay.
I apologize
was
for that,
it
but
you were
I see
actually
where you're
saying
going.
there, Jay? That the Parsons were going to come in and have 5 sacks.
Well,
What
he
did he
did
have?
just save the
Hey,
game for the Packers, but sure.
No, he
I,
didn't.
I,
He had
Yes, he
half a
did.
sack. He didn't
What?
do shit.
he got
The
credit. He
fact
got
Bro,
credit for
that
one
he
sack, sir.
tackled Dak Prescott from getting a
no
touchdown so
fucking
that the
way. I'm
Cowboys would
just
win the
saying,
game.
the Packers actually gave up fucking 40 points to this so-called loosey goosey, Dallas offense, without a CD Lamb. Come on. You can't give them no props at all. I'm
I
just
ain't
saying.
apologizing for shit.
You
Offensive,
should, because you're
no,
stupid if you don't.
no,
You 5 fucking,
not at all.
5 fucking sacks. Are you serious? Come on, dude.
Okay,
You
so
didn't.
he had a half a sack, and then he had a game winning sack that saved the that saved the Packers from losing. You mean to tell me that last play that Dak Prescott had, that if he wouldn't have made that sack, that they would have won? No, they
No,
wouldn't
but
have.
by your own assertion, that it shouldn't have ever been that close to begin with.
What? The search? Yeah, okay. So I thought it was a blowout. Yeah, but
You
and if
thought that it was going to be
I
a blowout,
predicted, hold on, hold on.
as
If
do
I
I. So
predicted
my
Micah
point is
to
that
have,
the
jeez,
Cowboys, they deserve props for this one. I'm sorry if you disagree with me, but you're fucking wrong if you don't.
it's not disagreeing with you. It's at all. What I'm saying is that I predicted a blowout. That's the only thing I got wrong. Micah Parsons getting 5 sacks. Yeah, I thought that was good, but he got a sack and he got a
He
game
did not get a sack,
saving.
dude. Honestly, okay.
What the?
So he actually
Let
got
me
a
finish.
shoelace
Let me
tackle at
finish.
the
Let me finish.
very fucking
It's
end
the
of the
last
game.
minute of
He
the
had a
game.
shoelace
He
tackle
did do the
sack. I mean,
Joey.
and not only that, but he
We're
was
on
actually
Discord,
even.
bro.
It
On
was
Discord.
he was actually half a fucking yard away. Come on, dude. You can't tell me that was a real fucking sack.
You
It
gonna
was
let me get a
not.
word in
And
now,
not
or
only
what?
that, but that was not a
You gonna let me get a word
game-saving
in, or
sack.
what? You gonna keep going? Or you gonna let me get a word
Well,
in?
if you feel the need to retort, but
It's not a
you're
retort.
you're
It's
going to
called
be
a
fucking
conversation.
wrong.
But right now, it's one sided.
Well, go ahead. Go ahead. If you think you're right.
He might not have had 5 sacks, but he had a game winning sack. That's all that matters. And I won't apologize for that.
He did not have a game-winning sack. It
Game
was not a
tying.
A
game-winning
game
sack.
saving. A
Game
game
tackle,
saving.
not a
Game
sack.
saving.
Even
What?
Dak Prescott said that it wasn't even a sack.
The announcers said it was a sack. They said it qualified as a sack.
It was
it was
qualified
officially
as a sack because he was a shoelace tackle.
So which is it? Is
So
it a
he's
sack or
no
is it
fucking
not?
hero. Is my
His-
point.
okay. Okay. Let's be fair. Let's be fair here. Micah grabbed Dak Prescott. His knee was behind the line of scrimmage when he fell. That officially counted as one sack. That was in overtime, and that was when they were driving. He did prevent the Dallas Cowboys from scoring in that possession. And it was in overtime based on the current overtime rules. So therefore, it does meet the criteria of saving the game. Now,
All right.
did
So my
it
point
secure a
is,
win? No.
was Micah Parsons a fucking hero in this game?
He saved.
No.
He saved. Did he save the? Okay. Did he quote unquote save the day? Technically,
Okay. Here's another question: should the game have ever been that close to begin with?
No.
Given
no,
that
absolutely not. Nope.
Given the fact that
predict-
Parsons was supposed to be having like 5 freaking sacks.
He should have had a monster day, but I will say now one caveat on this too was his defensive end teammate Rashawn Gary went out by injury midway through the game. I think that impacted that, and that gave the Cowboys the capability of double teaming Micah as much more than they probably would have been able to if they had a full defensive line. So you have to count that in there. Now I will say I am guilty because I predicted that he would have 3.5 sacks in the game, and he was clearly short. So did he underperform? Yes, but did he make the impact play that was needed at the time? Also, yes. 2 things can be true. And now, would I give the Cowboys credit? Yeah, sure. Did they perform and did they step up to the plate? in a primetime game without CeeDee Lamb? Sure. Did George Pickens do what he should do as being the lone wide receiver? He sure did. So, yes, they do get credit for that. But that does not mean that the Cowboys are going to go on to be a playoff team. I still believe they
Did
finished
I
last.
even say that? I
No,
never
you
said
didn't.
that. I'm
No.
talking about this game.
Sure.
This game, I mean, a lot of people, including myself, were shitting on the Cowboys. And I think that the Cowboys, they came to play.
Yeah.
Pure and simple.
I think
Okay.
that
It was not the blowout that everybody thought, including myself, that it was going to be. And I'm giving props where props are due.
yeah, you're right, Joey. You're right. But the Green Bay Packers are incredibly overrated. They've had one good win against the Lions. They've had an embarrassing loss against the Browns and an embarrassing tie against the crap Cowboys team. So it's props to the Cowboys for getting a tie, but they did it against a team that is incredibly overrated.
Yeah, I do agree with you. I think the Packers are
Okay,
secretly fraudulent.
I mean, yeah, I would agree with that, Kyle.
Tony, what do you think?
Oh, I mean, look, I do think the Cowboys played better than everybody thought. We thought Mike was going to be pissed, but it was and take over the game. It kind of happened the other way, where the Cowboys were motivated to not let that happen. It was cool because it turned into like a slugfest and a lot of points and shit. But
Yeah, it's a fun game to
yeah,
watch. But do you think the Packers are overrated though?
yes, I do. They do have a couple really bad injuries, especially to that offensive line, which was one of their strengths coming in. So we could see them getting better again. But yes, I think they're a little overrated. Now, though, people probably realize like, okay, you can score on that defense because their corners aren't great. You can score on that defense, and I mean, nobody's really afraid of that offense either. They don't have a stud that you're afraid of. Yes, Josh Jacobs is a good running back, but
I mean, I
he
was
doesn't
full of
scare you.
the first 2 weeks. I was like, "Ooh, the Packers." I
Yeah.
thought they might be,
Yeah.
on something, but I don't know.
All right, so our last game of the week for week 4 was the Jacksonville Jaguars going to the 49ers, and they took the win 26-21. Brock Purdy came back for this game. It didn't look too great. And the Jaguars offense didn't wet the bed in this game. So props to them. Now the question I have here is, will this brand of the Jags team last through the season?
I don't think so.
Ugh.
I think the 49ers they got so many injuries going on. And like you said, it was Purdy's first game back. It was an odd game. I don't think Jacksonville's going to do anything this year.
It's a tough one to put a beat on there, man. I don't have much of a pulse on either one of these teams. I mean, the 49ers, they're decimated, especially on defense. The Jaguars, they're about as, oh God, unpredictable as you can possibly get.
Yeah.
I just don't know what to say, and now that they're both, 3-1, that's a mystery to me.
Yeah, so good on them, though. They do have a new coaching staff, right? So if they can keep
Yeah, good
moving
point.
forward as the season goes, they start out 3-1. They probably shouldn't be, but they are in a division that's, we saw the Colts starting to lose. So,
Yeah. Well, how many times
look-
in fantasy football where teams end up, with a certain record that shouldn't be, and then end up the way they are?
All right, I'm
Yep.
back. Sorry, my dog took a shit in the middle of the living room. Where we at? What we doing?
We're about to talk about the Raiders.
No, we're
Yeah,
not.
You don't want that smoke.
No, we are not. No, we are not.
No,
I missed it.
Let's
I
talk
missed
about the
it.
Raiders.
No,
Did
we're
we
not.
finish-
We're
did
not.
Yeah,
we
why don't
finish
we
the
ever talk
Cowboy
about
shit?
the Raiders? Yeah, we
Because
did.
because they didn't make games of the week. They have to be good enough to actually make games of the week. And right
Yeah,
now they're not.
but we have a Raiders fan here. If he wants to, bring up the fact they lost on a last minute block.
I see
Let's
what you're
not-
doing.
Dude,
Okay,
the
it's
special
not gonna
teams stuff
work.
has been
I see
crazy.
what you're
Let's-
doing.
He lost
You
to
know.
the fingernail lady.
I see what you're doing. But so what was the end result of the Cowboys Packers? Was there a consensus?
Consensus is the Packers are frauds. That's the
Yes, I
consensus.
would agree with that. It should have been a blowout. It wasn't. Micah should have balled out, but he didn't. But however, he did have some sort of impact, and that's that. What was? Or were we on a new game?
Yes, the Jaguars and 49ers, and with the 49ers taking the loss on Brady's first game back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't think the Jaguars are legit.
I don't think so either.
Okay.
You know, for once we can agree, Jay.
For once,
Damn.
All right.
Well, then I'm gonna take that back. The Jaguars suck, and no, they're gonna be
Well,
great. They're gonna win
it's
that
hard to
division.
say that, you know, because I mean they've sucked just a little bit
You,
less than the
you took
Raiders.
it back and then doubled down. What the?
Look, at the beginning of the season, I had as a surprise pick in that division for the Jags to actually take it. I'm not at the point yet where I'm going to move off of that. And again, I because that would mean I will have to lower my guard for Daniel Jones. I refuse to do it. I just absolutely refuse to do
You
it.
know,
So
that's not unwise there. You know,
I'm willing to die by that sword if that happens.
yeah, well, just because, you know, I mean, he's been so inconsistent over the years, and you know, I mean, you just never know what you're going to get with the dude. You know, I mean, he comes out as a rock star one day, and then he just lights up the field the other. So is he Danny Dimes or is he a chump? You know, you just don't know.
He's Indiana Jones.
No,
Yeah.
he is Daniel Jones until proven otherwise. I done broke this down for y'all. Okay, he will not get a nickname until he earns it. I'm tired of people quick to give him a nickname because he played
actually
in New
wasn't
York.
bad
Get
in
outta
that
here.
game, though. I know they lost, and he played a good Rams team. I think he wasn't horrible. I know the interception was bad, but
Yeah, he did play a really good Rams team. You know,
All right, next game.
All right, so that's all of our week 4 that's it for our week 4 recap. We can we'll get into our week 5 games of the week, and I'll start with our Thursday night game. The same 49ers, they're number 10 this week. They go to the LA Rams for a divisional Thursday night game. Both the 49ers are coming off the loss, while the Rams came off a very impressive win versus the upstart Colts.
look,
I
I'm
guess
going
we'll
to make
start
this
with
real easy.
Tony here.
Yes,
Go ahead.
let me take this. Well, I'm going to make it real easy. This is really bad timing against our divisional foe because of the injuries, and we don't even know if these guys are going to be ready. So, of course, we're playing Thursday night. So we really may have no Purdy, no Pearsall, no Jennings. It's just it's bad, man. And then I feel bad because Christian McCaffrey, they may have an 11 in the box, you know. So it's just, you know, it's been the theme all year. Obviously, Bosa's out for the season, so that hurts. But the whole offense has been decimated, and it's not getting better because they're not getting healthy. It's just every week they keep tweaking something, and they probably shouldn't play. They underperform because they're all fucking out there limping around. It just sucks, man. I wish they would just give them all rest this week, get 10 days off, come back, hopefully all healthy in week 6. You know, I wouldn't be mad about it. I know we're giving up a division game, so he probably won't do that, but we may need to.
And to make it worse, the Rams were 5.5 favorites opening, right? But now they're 6.5. So Vegas is basically they're mirroring what your sentiments there. Angry or Tony with
Yeah, the news about Purdy wasn't great, so we'll see.
Yeah. Anybody else got anything on this game?
I can't disagree. I'm sorry, you know, Tony. You know, I mean, it's a very, very tough road win. You know, I mean, can they do it? Sure. You know, I mean, but they've been so decimated by injuries. I mean, what can you say?
Yeah. All right. Next game is the number 12 Denver Broncos going on the road to take on the number 1 Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are 3.5 point favorites. It moved down for 4.5 currently. And both teams are coming off wins, very different fashions, but I don't know if this is the first true test for the Broncos, but I think this is going to be a hidden barn burner on this one. But I think I'll toss this one to Angry Joey here since this is his squad.
Okay, so if you asked me last week, I would say that the Eagles were going to just destroy the Broncos. Now, granted, yeah, they beat Cincinnati, you know, without a quarterback decisively in Denver. But the fact is that they're actually playing in Eagle Stadium. I don't have a lot of hope for my Broncos on this one, other than, that Jalen Hurts just continues to do his lackluster type stuff, and that, the Broncos are able to lock down their receivers, which they can, but the fact that they're in a very, very hostile environment, how I just can't say it, but I have a hard time thinking that the Broncos, they got an uphill climb on this.
I
I'll
think the
say it.
Broncos could give them a little bit of trouble. I mean, it does suck going to Philadelphia. That game's probably a 1 o'clock game, or
It is
early game.
some bullshit.
That's not good for the Broncos. So I don't like that. But Vegas stowed money moving towards the Broncos in that game. I think they can give them a little bit of trouble because Philly hasn't been clicking on offense. It's like a sneaky, risky spot for the Eagles here, I think.
Don't you think that this could be one of those upset type games? I mean,
Absolutely. Yeah.
I want to say, that, the Broncos could actually win this. I really do. But man, it's going to be a challenge. I mean, because they're playing against a hell of a defense, and well, I guess we'll see.
I wouldn't be surprised at all.
I have the Eagles winning by a field goal, but I think it's going to be a lot closer game than what people realize.
I guess I'm the only person on here that thinks it's going to be I have the Eagles 24, Broncos 16. So I don't have it that close.
I guess I'm the only one here. I'm standing 10 toes down again. Now they're not my upset pick of the week, but I'm actually thinking that the Broncos can actually take the Eagles here. Because the Eagles have been dangling with danger for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
You're not 10 toes down if you're not going to make it your upset pick of the week.
no, I got another one that's an upset pick. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, one that's probably got better odds.
No,
You're not 10
no,
toes
it's
down.
not.
Coward.
No, I am. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. You're not gonna force me. I need points, all right? But
No,
the point
see, that's
is,
what I thought. See,
No,
you
no,
don't
yeah.
think
Moving
You
on.
just told on
The
yourself.
point
Yeah.
is, that sounds like
The
one
point
pinky
is-
toe down.
the
That's what that
point
is.
is, Woo Pig, is that with AJ Brown belly aching the way that he is, wanting targets, the worst thing that can happen is to have Pat Surtain come to town because he's going to stick himself right there, right next to being glue to AJ Brown and going to frustrate the mess out of him even further. And to be honest, I don't think that the Eagles coaching staff trusts Jalen Hurts, even though he's a Super Bowl MVP.
Okay, so you hit on something very, very interesting. What is it with AJ Brown these last few weeks, man? I mean, he has just not been there. I mean, is it Jalen Hurts or is it AJ Brown? What do you think?
I think it hurts.
I think it's Jalen Hurts, honestly. It's Jalen Hurts and the fear of the offensive coordinator because he's new. And this is, I think, his 6th offensive coordinator the whole entire time. And so I think he's afraid to open up the offense. I think he's trying to play it safe. He wants to, be run dominant, run first. And to be honest with you, a lot of this arrogance with the tush push too, I think that's what they play into.
Okay,
And
so maybe just sneak their way into the playoffs and then go from there? Is that what you're thinking?
they're just doing just enough. They're doing just enough to win games. And that's why every time, no matter what the offensive production is, they always like, well, we were in the games. We're just learning lessons and all this other type of, gobbledygook. But the reality is, at some point, they're going to go across a team that can actually give them trouble. And in this case, I think, especially with the tune-up that the Broncos had with the Bengals, I think that they can, Cortland Sutton and Marvin Mims and I can't think. I think the little boy's name, but
Franklin.
I think the receiving core can actually give that Eagles secondary a run, and I believe their run game can give them a run too.
Yeah.
So that's actually an interesting point, I mean, because the Broncos and their, wide receivers and their running back room, they kind of match up okay, okay with their wide receivers. Their running backs, with Harvey and J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah.
It's tough, I mean, because, Saquon, he's going to be doing Saquon things. So I guess it kind of comes down to which defense is going to show up. The only thing that gives me pause is the fact that they're playing in Philly. It is a very hostile crowd, so I'm praying that my Broncos actually pull it out, but it's going to be a tough sled.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, we got to run through the rest of these really quick. So, next game is the number 6 Chiefs going to the Jaguars. Both these teams are coming off wins. I think the Chiefs, like you said, Angry Joy, I think the Chiefs are back here. The Jaguars will take a L here, and I think it'll be in commanding fashion. And hopefully we'll get a Travis Hunter sighting here as a consolation prize.
Yeah, Chiefs all day.
So, I agree with you.
Yeah,
I
easy.
think the Chiefs got that one. I think that's
Yeah.
an easy dub. But one other game that I kind of like to point in on is the Pats and the Bills. I mean, the Pats, the game that they just had this last week was pretty impressive. And the Bills, they've been kind of looking kind of weird. I don't know what do y'all think? Am I missing something?
I don't know, dude. It's just the Pats right now, they're just regular. They really are. And they're playing on Sunday night at Buffalo. I think it's gonna be a whiteout, honestly. It's not. I don't think it's gonna be even close. And I believe right now the Patriots are number 24 in our rankings right now. So that's why they didn't make the list. So,
Fair enough.
Patriots are gonna get smashed.
but Mr. Ritter, what's your call for the Chiefs Jags?
I got Chiefs, and I don't think it's gonna be even a game. I think it's gonna be over by halftime.
Angry Tony, I'm sorry. Tony, what takes you agree?
Pretty.
Yeah. Okay. Next game is number 7 Bucks going to the Seattle Seahawks. Number 15.
This is gonna be a good game.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a hidden surprise here. Baker, he tried to do Baker things once again against the Eagles, but fell a little bit short with an unsurprising interception late in the game. The Seahawks, they've been playing well. Sam Darnold hasn't turned into a pumpkin yet, and JSN has continued to show that he is he's ready to take that next step as a top 10 receiver right now. But it is in Seattle, so
their Hawks are favorites too in that
yes,
game, right?
yes, Seattle.
Yeah, this is my upset.
3.5.
This is my upset pick of the week.
Really? Are you serious?
Oh
Yep.
my God. Baker,
Bucks over Seahawks.
Yeah.
Baker's gonna bake.
Well, since you already locked it in, I guess I can now add the fact that Baker Mayfield has been dealing with sort of a bicep injury on his throwing arm. So
That's okay. He's a footballer. He'll get past that. He'll be fine. Baker's
all
gonna bake.
right. Okay, we'll skip. All right, got it. What say what say you, Tony? What takes?
Where are they playing?
They're playing in Seattle.
I'll take Seattle.
All right.
Tough place to play. The Bucks are fine. They did get Chris Godwin back, who obviously looked a little sluggish, but he had 10 targets, so he'll start to ramp up. It'll be a good game though.
Yeah, and the Seattle's defense is really good too. I'm taking Seattle here. I'll take them by 7.
No Bucky Irvin, by the way. Most likely no Bucky Irvin. That's the news I read a couple hours ago. So that hurts.
Oh, yeah, that hurts. Yeah, that's
Didn't
true.
know that. But I'm gonna stick with it.
I was gonna say too late. You are.
Yeah, I got the Seahawks as well.
All right. And the last game of the week is the number 11 Commanders with Jaden Daniels should be playing in this game going to the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers took a loss to the New York Giants this week, and Jackson Dart giving him their first win, and they also lost their they lost Joe Alt, their other Pro Bowl left tackle. So now
they're
right
just tackle, who was their left
right
tackle. Now they're down to their third left tackle, plus their second right tackle, plus their third right guard. They're like the Niners of the AFC. Like they get devastating injuries every year.
Every time the Chargers they get on a roll and you want to believe in them, and then stuff just
then
happens.
The Chiefs are just like, ha ha ha, thanks. We never have fucking injuries.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yes, I know Xavier Worthy got hurt for the first couple of games, but that shit no.
Yeah, and Chiefs, man, they made me sick. Anyway, yeah. So, Now this is my upset of the week. I got the Commanders pulling this one out. I think it's going to be pretty substantial here. I'm
Are they
like an 8-point win.
underdogs?
Yes, they are.
They are?
Yes, they are. Yep. Chargers -3. Yeah, it was 2.5.
-3.
Yeah, but it was 2.5. And now it's moved to 3. They're in LA. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So,
Gonna
Yeah,
be interesting
I've
to see how Jaden Daniels looks, coming back from the injury.
I've got it as a close game, but I've got the Chargers winning.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna go with let's go with Commanders. I wasn't gonna do Chargers, but let's go with the Commanders just because to spice some things up, and I'll do them as my upset of the week.
Okay. But yeah, that's our picks of the week, or that's our games of the week. So now, just real quick, we'll get to our sleeper studs and duds for the week. We're gonna shake this up a little bit.
Do a recap.
Woo pig. Oh, my bad. Yes, woo pig. So, sorry. So the current standings are we have a two-way tie at first with Mr. Raider and Woo Pig with 6 points. Tony Wood takes you are second place with 5 points. I am in third with 4 points, and Angry Joy is right behind me with 3 points. So, with that said, Woo Pig, why don't you give us your picks for the week?
All right, sounds good. So my sleeper of the week is Woody Marks, running back for Texans. He's been quietly stealing backfield possessions from everyone. So I think he's got an 18% target share, 21 total touches, 50%. He's logged 56% of snaps. So I think he's getting a lot of the red zone work. So I think he's primed this week to against the Jags to have a big game. So that's my sleeper. My stud, Matthew Stafford. Once again, he's looking like vintage Matthew Stafford. He's for some reason ranked way outside the top 12, but I think he's positioned where he's going to have another 300 plus yard game, 3 touchdowns. He's got Cooper Kupp back this week, I think. Cooper Kupp's coming back, so he's got his weapons
No,
back. So
that would be a
No.
miracle
Cooper
because
Kupp.
he's not on the team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he plays for Seattle, dude.
what?
Yeah.
Okay, well, my bad then.
He's got Devontae Adams as his second receiver now. Pretty
Yeah, I was
damn
gonna
good,
say,
huh?
thanks
who
for
you
taking
meant.
us through the
Devontae
time
Adams.
machine there,
Yeah,
bud.
that's who you meant, Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
Sorry. Maybe we'll have to cut that part out.
Nope. Hell no, that's sticking in there.
Now, anyways, so I've got Matthew Stafford as my stud, and then my dud, he just keeps providing for me. So I'm gonna keep it up. I'm gonna have Derrick Henry as my dud again. So Justice Hill keeps siphoning passing downs off of him and early down work, and he's a turnover machine. So yeah, that's my dud. I think Derrick Henry's gonna have another bad game. So
Okay. Mr. Raider, how about you?
Let's see. So my sleeper. I have Mason Taylor, tight end from the Jets. I would consider if you get 6 catches over 60 yards, that'd be a pretty good game for a tight end. Maybe a tutty or two. As far as a sleeper, my stud, I'm gonna go with ETN again. I think he's gonna have a couple touchdowns. And my dud, oh man, I hate to say it. I hate to say it, but I'm gonna do it. Jamar Chase.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
uh-oh.
Okay.
Was
Well, you
that
know
your
what? You're
pick?
right.
Okay,
You're right.
No wonder why
it's
these
funny,
guys are winning.
That's a safe pick. You were absolutely right. Let me switch it.
Actually,
Let me switch
Jay,
it.
that's
Mhm.
not unsafe there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Let me switch it. So instead of that, then my dud will be Jaden Daniels.
Oh, so we talked you into it. Is that what you're
No,
saying?
no, you didn't
Is he
talk me into it. I'm
qualified?
saying is you're right. He should because he's been out.
Yeah, but he could
Alright.
be ranked pretty. If he's ranked high in the rankings, he don't qualify.
I don't think he is. Let me look again.
Hey man, if they keep ranking Derrick Henry in the top 10, I'm gonna keep picking him as my dud. I'm
Oh no,
sorry.
you're good. You're good.
I think he's done.
No,
I
he
disagree.
qualified.
I think they're gonna.
You think that Derrick Henry is cooked?
Hold on.
I don't
Jaden
think
Daniels
I
does.
don't think he's a top 10 running back anymore.
I think they got too cute and got away from the run too much, and now
Yeah.
they're gonna start running the ball more like the way they used to. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets fed a lot these next couple games.
All right.
And Jaden Daniels does qualify for the pick because he's QB7 on the week.
But what's
Oh,
a dud
dang.
for a QB though? What's the metrics on that? How do we quantify
That's why I
that?
don't pick any of them because I make tough picks. Quarterbacks.
What would be
Oh, I take
considered a
it.
dud?
The definition of it. Oh, you would ask right now, wouldn't you?
I think it's somebody
Definition.
that's ranked in the top 12 that falls outside the top 12, right?
Well, for quarterback, it should be like a little different, but I don't know if we define that one.
Dud is anybody ranked in the top 12 that finished outside the top 30.
Oh,
Which, and for
Yeah.
quarterbacks is impossible. So.
yeah. Shit.
A great pick.
Man, I know, right? I'll go there now.
You're in the lead. You'll be all right.
All
All right. What's your upset pick again?
Oh, upset was I went Commanders over Chargers.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay. All right, I'll go. So, unfortunately, there's been a lot of stolen picks from me. My sleeper of the week is Woody Marks. I was looking at the same stats as you, Woo Pig. So we're there. We're good there. My stud of the week is Jameson Williams. I feel like he's been well. First of all, he had three terrible drops last week against the Browns, so he's definitely going to have some making up to do. And the Cincinnati Bengals defense is just what the doctor ordered. So I feel like he's going to blow up this game. Dud of the week, Saquon Barkley. I just feel like the Broncos defense, run defense is tough enough to where they can actually stuff him. And I think they're going to force the issue to try to make Jalen Hurts actually throw the ball. So I think that's going to come at the cost of Saquon Barkley. My upset pick, which I already talked about, is the Commanders versus the Chargers this week. And I think, Tony Woodtakes, you are up now.
Okay, so my sleeper of the week is Michael Pittman. So they're playing the Raiders, and the Raiders are kind of like becoming like a little bit of a funnel defense. That they're very good against the run all of a sudden, and they've given. I think they're like number 4 worst team against wide receivers. So maybe the Colts throw a little bit more. And so I don't know why he's ranked so low. Okay, I think I know. They spread it around a lot, so you're never sure which one of those guys is gonna get his stuff. And Tyler Warren was incredible last week, but but I do think they're gonna throw the ball a lot, and Michael Pittman will be the guy to do it. All right. I also want to say for these sleepers, so we got a lot of bye weeks. So fantasy owners out there, we got bye weeks coming up and a whole bunch of injuries that just happened. Malik Neighbors went down, Tyreek Hill went down. So you got to take advantage of some of those injuries. Guys like Darius Slayton and Malik Washington could be really good flex plays this week, although they weren't 2 weeks ago, but they are now, so they could produce. So, yeah, just a little tip for the audience. All right, my stud. So I'm not going to be a punk with sleeper Woody Marks. I'm going stud Woody Marks. How about that? playing a shitty Ravens run defense. And I don't like to chase points, but obviously we see the trend, right? He's going to get more work next week after this game he just had. So, and the guy averaged like 60 receptions in college, which is insane for a running back. So I think he only had 4 catches, which isn't bad for running back, and he did have the receiving touchdown. But I think he's going to catch a lot. I hope he catches a lot more balls, and we may see that going forward because I think he's going to be on the field even more. So yeah, I'm going stud Woody Marks. My dud, unfortunately, is CMC. The Rams' run defense is now number 1 in the NFL, and they like we talked about during the games, they don't have an offense. So if all those guys don't play, even if they do, they're not going to be 100%. Why wouldn't you just stop CMC and make whoever the hell the quarterback is beat you? So I don't like the matchup. I don't like that it's Thursday. I don't like all our injuries. Unfortunately, my dud is CMC.
I hate your pick. I think Woody Marks should totally. I think he sucks. I think you should trade him to me in our fantasy league.
Oh my God.
No, I'm just kidding. That's a good pick.
What's your upset
So my
pick?
upset special is the Browns over the Vikings.
Oh,
And now I know why. So the line has moved a little bit, and I know why the Vikings are favored most because they didn't look good last week, right, at all. But they did. They played in Europe, playing in Europe again, so they got to stay there. And I think that's why Vegas likes them a little bit because of the stability of they get to stay there and practice. Why the Browns have to make that trip and all that. So, but I don't care. I'm going to take the Browns and that vicious defense. It's hard to like the defense is playing really, really good right now, and the Vikings offense look terrible. So yeah.
Okay. Angry Joey, what you got?
All right. So let's see. For my sleeper, I actually have Jackson Dart. I just have a sneaky suspicion. I'm going to keep this short. week because I know we're running out of time.
Got to look out for that injury.
Yeah, I know. My stud.
Hamstring.
Yeah, my stud is going to be A-Chain. Who else did they have to go to? My dud.
Dude,
And
he's outside the top 12.
Well, isn't A-Chain inside the top 10 or top
I
12?
don't think so. Not according
Double
to.
check. No, he is 13 on the week.
Wow.
Who the hell are they playing?
Okay. Yeah.
Who are they playing?
Good selection, Joey. Good selection.
And then
Joey
my
just went to
dud.
13 and said, "I'll pick that guy."
Hey, he met the requirement. That's all that matters. Oh, they're playing the Panthers this week. They're at the Panthers.
So you kind of stole my thunder there, Tony, because I actually have my dud as being Christian McCaffrey for the same exact reasons that you put out. And let me see, I actually have the Bucks over the Seahawks.
All right. So yes, some very interesting choices for everybody, and that wraps up the NFL week. Turn it back over to you, Mr. Ryder.
Okay, we'll probably at this part do. Joey, you want to lead us off with the next part for the video game stuff?
No, I think we're running out of time.
I know.
Well, give the audience a little preview of a little.
So
video
some of the games that we actually have coming out, in case you're a video gamer, there's some pretty good stuff that's coming out very recently. In case any of you have actually played Ghost of
Tsushima.
Tsushima. I always call it Sushimi, and I get roasted for that shit. But they actually have Ghost of Yatai coming out very soon, within the next couple days, within the next day. And none of us have actually been able to sample it or anything like that, but we've been able to see some of the videos of this game, and it looks absolutely exquisite. And if you actually played the previous Ghost, I mean, it's on our Mount Everest. I mean, Mount Rushmore.
Mount Everest.
It's super high up there.
God, it's up there. It's a great game.
It's
It
beautiful.
really is. I've actually had to play the game like 3 or 4 times and beat it every single time. Yeah, I mean, it's so much fun. Then the next one that I've actually been able to play, for any of you Diablo lovers, I will one up you and show you the Path of Exile 2. It's very, very difficult, but it's kind of the same top-down approach. It's incredibly difficult. You really have to think about this one if you're playing it. Let me see, the other one that I've heard about, if any of you guys have actually played Hades, they don't
Very good
have
game.
they don't have it available on PlayStation yet, but it's soon to be coming, but if any of you guys have actually played that game, it's really a lot of fun.
Well, cool. So we'll do a non-sports segment for the fans.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. So next pod, then we'll lead that. We'll have that as a segment, so you can give us some more information on that, Angry Joey.
I haven't played Hades yet, but I've heard it is a very good segue from the original, and it's the very first one was really a lot of fun.
Cool. Okay. So
and
this time we're gonna.
I might add that the Dodgers are kicking the shit out of Cincinnati right now. So yeah, 8-0, and congratulations, by
Not
the way,
surprised.
to you Tiger fans. You're doing pretty damn good. Anyway.
Yeah. I'll save my comments for the next pod.
All right. So then now we're gonna transition into Alamo Minute or Kiss My Grits. But before we do, does anybody else have anything? Any go backs? Everybody good?
I'm good.
Good.
Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and start with Alamo Minute and Kiss My Grits. Hater, take it away.
All right, I'm doing an audible here. I was going to go with the Tigers, but I've changed my mind. Fan bases, all football fan bases. You get a Kiss My Grits for this week. Why? Because you're belly aching about overtime led us to a Cowboys-Packers surprising classic, but it ended in a tie. So because of your belly aching about giving teams a chance and, everybody, it's so unfair, blah, 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 blah. You cried and belly ached for years. They changed the rules to cater to you, and now you're complaining because there's a tie. Well, congratulations. You created this very scenario. It should have stayed, the overtime rules for the NFL should have stayed the way they were, which is sudden death. So now, college football is more determinant of a winner than the NFL. Congratulations, fan bases. You earned this. Kiss my grits.
Oof. Okay. Damn. Any Alamo shout out? Alamo minute?
No, sir.
All right. Angry Joey?
Nothing for me this week. Thanks.
All righty. Tony with takes? Alamo minute or a kiss my grits?
I don't know if I want to call this a kiss my grits, but I just want to give like 30 seconds on how disappointed I am in my New York Mets. A colossal collapse. We started off the season super hot. We were 21 games over 500 at one point, and then we play the Marlins at the end of the season. And at the last series, the damn Reds lose. All we have to do is beat the friggin' Marlins, dude. I'm just disappointed. You know, we have the second highest payroll in baseball, and I just expected better. Our pitching just collapsed. We got to fix the pitching, but I don't know if we have enough money to do that. Okay, I'm rambling, but I'm pissed.
Oh, man, no, it's a good take. Get it. Any shout outs you want to do, or you just want to leave it at that?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Woo Pig, Alamo minute, kiss my grits.
Yeah, I've got one kiss my grits. It's to the NFL and their stupid ass rules about the tie. I hate it. It sucks. They need to get rid of it. The entire sport's built on competition. It breaks the DNA of what football is. You know, you go through 70 minutes of war, and then the league just says, oh, we're both winners or kind of losers. It's stupid. Somebody's got to suffer. Somebody's got to win. It breaks the playoff math. It confuses the standings. Players hate it. The fans hate it. Nobody leaves feeling good. It ruins momentum and storylines. It makes casual fans think the game just ended early. So they just need to get rid of it. They need to go to do the same thing that college football does. No kickoff loopholes, no coin toss stupidity, no running on the clock. Just make it about winning and stop defaulting to a tie. So that's it. That's my kiss my grits.
And the
Okay,
church
so
said,
I actually need to throw in a 2-0 moment for that one. You know, just because anytime that we hear Kyle lose his shit, it just warms my heart. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, his
It's
casual
stupid.
fans
It's
thinking the game
stupid.
ended
I'm a
early was
college
awesome.
I'm a college football fan, so every time I see a tie in the NFL, it's like, what the hell are you doing? It doesn't make any sense.
Well,
It
no,
doesn't
it's
make any
just from
it's a great idea.
you know, just
It's like they want to be
listening
soccer or
the
something.
listening to the
stupid.
last podcast to this one. I mean, it just, oh my gosh, it's just amazing. It's so awesome.
Yeah. So I mean, you throw some I mean, this
Sorry, you know, that I'm relishing on you being pissed off, you know, but
no, it just doesn't make any sense. You know, that game was a great game against, with Dallas and Green Bay. And for them to end it on a tie is just stupid. It should have gone into a second overtime, just like college does. Eventually one of the teams comes out a winner. But
Or here's
no,
an
they
idea.
gotta end it on a tie.
Or here's an idea. Next score wins. Period.
No, both teams get an opportunity.
Yeah.
Again, just play it the same way that college does. Who cares if the game's an extra hour? These are grown ass men, they can do it.
Okay, we'll have a discussion about this as
The
far
the
as what
on
the
the
remedy
only
should be.
the only
We're in
reason that
agreement here. I'm
Yeah.
going to relish the fact that we agree for the first time ever. So
Yeah,
I'm going to leave it at that.
you cannot convince me that the only reason they have the timeout or the overtime rules the way they are is because of advertisers and TV money. That's it.
Okay.
It's the only reason they
Okay.
do it.
Let's leave it there, and we'll pick it up on the next pod. So
All
to
right.
be continued.
Yes.
I asked the audience to tune in to the next pod so they can flesh out this
Woo!
debate. I don't have any shout outs, any Alamo minutes, but I do have a kiss my grits, and it's a kiss my grits to the Colorado Buffs fans for their chant against BYU. It's unacceptable, and that shouldn't happen. Got anything else before we sign off?
I'm good now.
Nothing here.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. Before we go, though, Hater, hit them with the socials one more time.
Yes. So if you want to listen to us, we're on Spotify, we're on SoundCloud, and we are on Apple Podcasts. You can find us at the 210 Show. And if you want to check us out on YouTube, we're at the 210 Show Pod. Please leave us a review, a comment. We are constantly trying to improve. We are still out the trump. So please help us out. And if you want to hit us up on email, you can hit j@the210show.com or me, Hater, H8R with FAQS at the210show.com. And also in that YouTube description link also has our link to Discord if you want to join us there.
Perfect. All right, everybody. Thank y'all for listening. Make sure y'all like and
Subscribe.
Peace out. Thanks for listening.